This video is presented by Western and Southern Financial Group, a game plan for your financial future. Every great team starts with a strong foundation, and your future should too. With life insurance built like a championship roster, Western and Southern helps protect what matters most so you can focus on winning today while planning for tomorrow. Whether you're just starting out your journey, building your dynasty, or ready to retire like a champion, Western and Southern has the right play for your life stage. Visit westernsouthern.com to get your free life insurance quote today. Western and Southern, built to win. Seahawks and the Panthers. Seahawks win this game 27-10. And if the Panthers would have won this game because the Miami Dolphins defeated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they would be NFC South champions already. But because both of those teams lost, it sets up a pretty good showdown here on Week 18. But let's talk about this Seahawks and Panthers game. Top 5 graded players on Seattle's side of things as they are still fighting for that number 1 overall seed in the NFC. Safety Julian Love with a 92.2 overall grade. Running back Zach Charbonnet with a 90.7. Edge rusher DeMarcus Lawrence with a 90.1. Safety Ty Okada with a 80.6. Wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba with a 70.4. Sam Darnold in this game, a 56.5. And on Carolina's side of things, quarterback Mike Jackson with a 92.0. Always fun when you get a good game against a team that you used to play for. Edge rusher DJ Wanham with a 79.8. Defensive tackle Derek Brown at 75.4. Offensive tackle Taylor Moton with a 74.0. And then offensive tackle Ike Ekwonu with a 70.2. Bryce Young in this game, a 54.2. Dalton, that's actually where I want to start, is with Bryce Young. And you and I have talked about Bryce over the last 4 or 5 weeks. And the Panthers are a team that has just been so different week to week. I mean, whether it's game plan wise, execution wise, which players are showing up, which players they're leaning on, they have just been so up and down every single week. And I think that's why they're one of the toughest teams to sort of figure out. When we looked at this team versus the Rams and their big upset over the Los Angeles Rams, and then when we looked at this team down the stretch of when they are playing well, you and I identified their willingness to be aggressive with Bryce Young. And sometimes they are and sometimes they're not. But we have talked about the fact that on the games that they are not willing to be aggressive early, put the ball in Bryce Young's hands and attempt some difficult passes on first down to set the tone, a lot of times they just can't keep up with the good teams that they were playing on their schedule. I think this was another game where they failed to do that. When you look at Bryce Young in this game, 54 total passing yards. Okay, that number speaks for itself. But when you go a little bit deeper here, they only had 2 passing attempts this game, whole game, of 15 or more yards. So much was underneath. And I think that how Seattle was playing them goes a long way into this. But specifically, I wanted to look at first down because you did a great job bringing that up a couple of weeks ago, and I think it's a very important statistic for Carolina when it comes to their wins and losses. Dalton, on first down in this game, Bryce Young had a negative 0.2 average depth of target. So whenever they even put the ball in his hands, he didn't throw it deep down the field. He didn't even throw it past the line of scrimmage on average. Now, when you contrast that with the Rams game, when they had that massive upset against Los Angeles, what was it, 6 weeks ago or so? 9.8 average depth of target when Bryce Young was passing on first down. That's not even in the same galaxy of a game plan that you have there. And I'm sure Mike Macdonald, who's one of the best defensive minds in the NFL, saw that tape, has seen where Carolina plays well, knows how they needed to defeat him. And they probably had a lot of guys who were deeper in coverage to limit that. But it's got to be better than negative 0.2 average depth of target. You're just not going to win football games, especially against teams that have more talent than you. And that was the case with Carolina. It's not that Carolina couldn't have won this game. They've beaten some really good teams this season, but they've had the game plan and they've been aggressive enough to do it. And I just don't think they had an aggressive enough game plan against Seattle to beat a team that is that talented.
Yeah, this is just kind of what Carolina does. Trevor, they have alternated wins and losses since week 7. They're inconsistent. It's why they're 8-8.
Congratulations to Carolina on their division title then coming up in week.
There we go. If all trends hold like they always do, they will win this division next week. And then there's also the funky scenario where they'll win the division anyway if the Falcons win both of their games, which is just would be so fitting to get a 3-way tie for 8-9 and basically just get Carolina out of a hat there. But anyway, look, I'm with you. I've said it all year. I've said it since before the season. The two keys to Carolina's season are their quarterback play and their run defense. In this game, Bryce Young, a 48.6 passing grade, and their run defense, a 53.9 run defense grade. The Panthers are 6-2 when their passing grade as a team, it's been one or two Andy Dalton starts in there, when their passing grade as a team is above a 60. Just serviceable. That's all we need is serviceable, and a lot of those games are a lot better than that. 2-6 when that's under 60. When the Panthers run defense grade is above a 62. Serviceable. That's all I need. They're 4-2, and when it's under that, they're 4-6. It's those two things. It's those two things that were always going to be the difference in their season, and honestly, it's those two factors right there, their quarterback and their run defense, that I think are going to decide the game against Tampa Bay in Tampa on Saturday night. I don't think it's any different. Those are the two factors that had to improve the most for this team to make the playoffs. We have one more week to find out if they're going to be able to do that.
Okay. Most impressive and most disappointing? I guess I'll start. JSN in the fourth quarter I was most impressive with him because it just feels as though he's inevitable, right? I mean, like, very quiet day from JSN for the first three quarters, and then you go to the fourth quarter, 3 targets, 3 catches, 78.6 receiving grade, 2 massive first down catches that he had, and it was just like, it's just like this dude is so inevitable. It's so hard to stop him for an entire game, and the Panthers were close, and then the fourth quarter came around, and he was just able to work his magic. So he was the most impressive for me, and then I kind of mentioned just the Panthers' game plan. I felt like they weren't ready to seize this moment against this team, and they weren't ready to play as fearless as they needed to win this ball game. I think the game plan was something that I was disappointed with, and how that lack of aggression was there. But what about you? What was your most impressive in this game?
I'll go with Seattle's highest graded player, the safety, Julian Love, and they've had so many contributors on defense this season. This time it was his turn to shine. 6 tackles, 3 stops, a 90 coverage grade, and I think you could argue the biggest play of this game was his interception in the third quarter. Seattle had just scored, made it 10-3. Few plays later, Bryce Young throws a ball down the sideline, a little bit behind Tetero McMillan. Love intercepts it, gives Seattle a short field. They go up 17-3. Just one of many contributors to this defense. It feels like it's somebody different every week. So the veteran safety there gets a lot of credit. And then most disappointing to me, it is Bryce Young, right? And I think next week, I should say Saturday, this week against Tampa Bay, this is a career-defining moment. If he flops in this game against the Buccaneers after playing so well against them the first time in Week 16, I think then we start to have real questions about Carolina's quarterback situation. I think this is the game that is going to define the next couple years of his career.
So so let me get this straight here for the NFC South. The idea is that they're playing at 4:30 on Saturday, which is hilarious. So we have this almost winner-take-all type of a game here between these teams. But if the Falcons win on Monday Night Football against the Los Angeles Rams, and then if the Falcons also win next week at home against the New Orleans Saints, that could potentially push a 3-way tie for the division. If the Buccaneers win and the Panthers obviously lose that game, you will have 3 teams at 8-9. But if that happens, then Carolina makes the playoffs. So if Tampa wins on Saturday at 4:30, that means that they will go to 8-9. Carolina will be 8-9, and they win the tiebreaker over Atlanta. So in theory, they are in. But there's more drama because if the Falcons win on Monday Night Football tonight, when we're recording this, then we won't officially know who wins the NFC South until after that 1 p.m. game on Sunday when they face the Saints, because if the Falcons win again, then all of a sudden Carolina is the one that wins the 3-way tiebreaker at 8-9.
Correct.
I believe that's how it's set up, correct?
That is correct. The Bucs are rooting for the Rams to take care of business tonight. If the Rams win tonight, then Panthers Bucs is winner take all. Yeah.
Winner take all. Yes.
And the Falcons cannot win the division. It doesn't matter for them in the standings whether they tie, but that's where we're at now.
To be honest with you, I want more chaos. I want the Falcons to beat the Rams on Monday Night Football. Like, set up the ultimate chaos, as much chaos as possible for the NFC South, because that's what the people need going into the final weekend here.
Everyone's got takes. Numbers have truth. And the truth is, most people are betting with emotion. Sportsbooks feed on it. TikTok gurus sell it. The hype machine runs on it. That's how you lose. PFF is different. You're betting with winning data. The same data trusted by all 32 NFL teams and the sharpest minds in the game. PFF betting tools take every prop, every matchup, every angle, and run them through our custom models. Built on the best football data in the world. What comes back is your edge. Simple, sharp, and built to win. Want to go deeper? PFF puts a pro-level analytics department in your hands, giving you the same insights teams use to find every advantage. Build your game plan with matchup analysis. Project every snap, every matchup, and every edge before kickoff. Because the smartest plays start long before Sunday. Hit rates show how a player performs against their prop and against defenses built the same way. It's the data that gives you real confidence in every pick. Next, Key Insights translates PFF data into the story behind every matchup, giving you the why that powers your bets. From coverage schemes to defensive looks, it's the context that turns raw numbers into winning decisions. When you're ready to take action, filter through every prop on the market and focus on the opportunities that matter. By game, matchup, or value. Then, shop for the best available line in your area and tap your book of choice to place the bet instantly. Everyone's got takes, but now you've got truth. Bet with data, win with PFF.